Open your eyes. You are 13 years old. Your clothes are worn, and your hands already carry scars from years of training. Outside, a man is waiting for you. In just a few minutes, you'll fight your first duel. If you lose, your story ends today. If you win, your name will be remembered for hundreds of years. Welcome to Japan in the year 1596. Today, you are Miyamoto Musashi. Your heart is racing, but you don't show it. The man standing across from you is older, stronger, and far more experienced. Around you, people whisper to each other. Most of them believe this fight will end in seconds. After all, you're only a boy. The duel begins. Your opponent charges, confident that this will be easy. But confidence can be dangerous. Before anyone fully understands what happened, the fight is over. The man collapses to the ground, and you remain standing. You survived. According to historical records, this was Musashi's first recorded duel and his first recorded victory. It was the moment a legend quietly began. But to understand how a 13-year-old reached this point, we need to go back to the beginning. You were born around the year 1584 during one of the most violent periods in Japanese history. The country had spent nearly a century trapped in civil war. Powerful warlords fought each other for land, castles, and control. Every victory created another enemy, and every defeat pushed families closer to ruin. This was the world you inherited. Your father, Shinmen Munasai, was a respected martial artist known for his skill with both the sword and the jide, a metal weapon designed to catch and control an opponent's blade. From a young age, you were introduced to discipline, weapons, and the harsh reality that strength alone was never enough. Historians still debate parts of Musashi's childhood. Some believe he was raised mainly by his father, while others suggest he spent much of his youth with his uncle, a Buddhist monk. The exact details remain uncertain. What historians do agree on is that Musashi grew up in a world shaped by conflict, where survival demanded both skill and determination. While other children spent their days playing, your childhood looked very different. Long before sunrise, training had already begun. Every mistake was corrected immediately because on a real battlefield, mistakes weren't embarrassing, they were fatal. As the years passed, your body became stronger, but your greatest weapon wasn't your sword. It was your mind. You learned to stay calm under pressure, to watch carefully before acting, and to think one step ahead of your opponent. These habits would later become the foundation of everything that made Musashi different from other samurai. Winning your first duel changed something inside you. It proved that talent alone wasn't enough. If you wanted to become stronger, you couldn't stay in one place. Every skilled swordsman in Japan had something to teach you, whether through victory or defeat. So you made a decision that would shape the rest of your life. You left home, not to search for comfort, wealth, or fame, but to search for worthy opponents. Every road became a new adventure. Every town could hide a master swordsman. Every challenge carried the same risk. One wrong move, and your journey would end forever. You had no idea that this path would lead you to some of the greatest duels in Japanese history, and eventually to the man who was considered the finest swordsman in the entire country. Your journey takes you across Japan, a country slowly recovering from generations of war. Every region has its own schools of swordsmanship, its own masters, and its own warriors who believe they are unbeatable. To you, they are not enemies. They are lessons waiting to be learned. As the years pass, your name begins to spread. One victory becomes 5, 5 become 20, then even more. Historical records describe Musashi as fighting over 60 duels without a recorded defeat. With every battle, your reputation grows, and so does the number of people who want to challenge you. But something about you confuses everyone. You don't fight like other samurai. You don't wear expensive armor. You don't care about looking impressive. Sometimes you arrive dressed like an ordinary traveler. Other times, you carry simple wooden weapons instead of finely crafted swords. Your opponents often mistake your appearance for weakness, and by the time they realize their mistake, the duel is already over. You begin developing a fighting style unlike anything Japan has seen before. Most swordsmen train with one sword. You train with two. One long sword, one short sword. People say it's impossible to use both effectively at the same time. You ignore them. Years of practice slowly turn that impossible idea into your greatest advantage. Eventually, this style becomes known as Niten Ichiryu, or the School of Two Heavens as one. But Musashi's greatest weapon was never the second sword. It was patience. He carefully watched how people moved, how they reacted under pressure, and how quickly frustration changed their decisions. Before many duels even began, he was already studying his opponent's mind. One habit became especially famous. Musashi often arrived late. Some believed he was careless, others thought he was disrespectful. In reality, many historians believe the delay was intentional. Making an opponent wait for hours could fill them with anger and impatience. By the time the duel finally started, they were no longer calm. They were already making mistakes. Musashi understood something that many warriors never did. The first battle doesn't happen with swords, it happens inside the mind. Then came the duel that would define your legacy forever.
Did you hear the news? A big event is happening. A duel. Yeah, it's Kojiro and Musashi. I wonder who's gonna win.
What the hell are you talking about? Of course, Kojiro will win easily. He will cut Musashi into two. Oh, now. We've been standing here forever. Is this lad actually coming? Or did he get lost on the way?
Черт тебя возьми! Ты обманом заставил меня купить новый танец из Fortnite, и он отстой.
Nein, nein. This is not how a duel works. I arrived 15 minutes early und Herr Musashi is still not here. Unfassbar.
You're late. Brother, I have been waiting for hours and you arrive now. Unbelievable. Are you gonna say something?
Are we fighting? Talking.
Yeah, this is wasted time. I have other business to do, but I had to wait for 3 hours. Do you even care about the fight?
You talk too much. Draw your sword and let's get finished with that bullshit.
With a simple piece of carved wood, you defeat the man many believed could never be beaten. The victory becomes one of the most famous moments in Japanese history. But after years of fighting, something inside you begins to change. You have spent your life defeating other swordsmen. Now a new question begins to take its place. What happens after there are no more battles left to win? The hardest battle is mastering yourself. Instead of searching for stronger opponents, you begin searching for deeper understanding. You spend time studying Zen Buddhism, strategy, painting, calligraphy, sculpture, and even architecture. To many people, this seems strange. Why would one of Japan's greatest warriors pick up a brush instead of a sword? Because Musashi believed that true mastery could never exist in only one skill. The older you become, the more your philosophy changes. You no longer fight to prove that you're stronger than everyone else. You fight only when there is no other choice. Around 1643, feeling that the end of your life is approaching, you leave the busy cities behind and retreat to a quiet cave called Rigondo. There, surrounded by silence, you begin writing down everything that decades of experience have taught you. The result becomes one of the most influential strategy books ever written, the Book of Five Rings. Even today, centuries later, military officers, athletes, entrepreneurs, and business leaders around the world continue to study its lessons. In 1645, after a lifetime unlike any other, Miyamoto Musashi dies at around 60 years of age. No final duel, no great battlefield, just a man who had already achieved everything he set out to do. Over the centuries, his story crossed oceans and cultures. Books were written about him. Movies brought his battles to life. Video games turned him into a legend for new generations. Yet behind every version of Musashi stands the same historical figure. So, what can we learn from his life? Not everyone will become the greatest in their field. Not everyone will fight 60 duels. But everyone faces battles of their own. Musashi's greatest lesson wasn't that you should always win. It was that every challenge is an opportunity to become stronger than you were yesterday. Thank you for joining this journey through history. If you'd like to experience another legendary life from history, there's another story waiting for you. Until next time.